David Madden, founder and executive director of the National History Bee and the National History Bowl. And back when I was in high school, I played a lot of academic quiz tournaments. We called it Quiz Bowl at my school. And I loved it. It gave me an incentive to go out and explore all sorts of different subjects of my own, although history was always my favorite. And we did pretty well as a school team. And I went on to Princeton and played for their college bowl team a little bit, and then actually had a Rotary scholarship to go study in Berlin, Germany, where I did my master's degree in international relations. So already a bit of a connection to Jackson in that sense. When I was preparing to be on Jeopardy, I was actually on a Rotary scholarship at the Free University of Berlin in Germany doing my master's in international relations. And every night at 1 in the morning Berlin time, I'd call back into my parents in New Jersey, and they would set the phone next to the TV. And I'd actually listen in my apartment and keep track on a computer spreadsheet of the questions I was getting right and how my studying was paying off. So I went about it very systematically, as I'm now doing with the National History Bee and Bowl, but that's the way to do it if you want to be successful. But while I was studying in Berlin, I visited a friend out in California, and we tried out for Jeopardy together. And he went on and lost to Ken Jennings, but thankfully Ken lost by the time I got the call. And a few weeks later, I was on a plane out to California, and next day went on and played in the first show, because they tape 5 shows a day, and won that game, and then was kind of off to the races, and ended up winning 19 shows in a row. And in the wake of that, I got very active once again in the world of high school quiz tournaments, first as just a moderator and a volunteer. And then I realized that there was nothing that existed on a national basis that was a history quiz tournament. And about 3.5 years ago, just from scratch, I set up the National History Bee, which is for individual students, and the National History Bowl, which is for teams. And never really looked back since. And this year we're running about 200 separate tournaments all over the world, and have tens of thousands of participating students, and they're all getting excited about history and being encouraged to go out and explore and learn more on their own, which is great to see.
There's a Nuremberg connection in all of this time, wasn't there?
There is. Nuremberg connection goes back actually a long ways. My parents told me that when I was about 2 years old, one of the first picture books that I was really into was actually a travel guide to Nuremberg, of all places, which had been given to them by a friend who actually knew the mayor of Nuremberg, which is kind of an odd connection that I got so into it. But the real fun story is that when I was on Jeopardy, there was a Final Jeopardy question that I actually had to answer. And the way it was phrased was, Supreme Court Justice Robert Jackson was given a leave of absence to go to this foreign city. And I had to think about it for a couple seconds, but it soon became pretty clear where this was going, and it was indeed Nuremberg. And with that, I won another show. So you never know where knowledge of Robert Jackson can take you. Years ago, I think at actually a National Council for the Social Studies conference, we met up with your center, and it was a very generous offer, and we enjoyed handing out some books on Robert Jackson to some of our History Bee winners at different competitions around the country.
Now, when your wife turns on the TV and you watch Jeopardy, do you keep track of your score?
Sometimes. I don't get as much of a chance to watch it as I would like these days since I'm so busy, but every time I do watch the show, I'll pick up the remote control and play with the volume, and if it's really loud by the end of the episode, that means I've done pretty well.
You won 19 shows in a row. How much money?
It's $442,000.
Wow. Well, winning 19, I mean, that's got to put you in some sort of hierarchy of the Jeopardy.
Number 2 right behind Ken in terms of games won.
We'll conclude on this one. Who was the only man to be a Solicitor General, Attorney General, and a Justice of the Supreme Court in the United States history?
I'm going to say Robert Jackson.
There we go.
All right.
Bingo. Final Jeopardy. Thanks so much, David.
My pleasure.
This is great.